We spoke just before getting on here, and I said, Chief, would you mind sharing exactly what you're telling me and what we've been discussing with the listeners on WICC this morning? And she's graciously agreed. Chief, I'm assuming you're on. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Acting Chief, that's wonderful to have you here. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you, ma'am. Nice to be here.
Please, I think there's a message out there that as to where we are, what we're doing. I want people to know that this is a top priority, certainly for the chief and for the department, for me as mayor, and all of our departments, and we're shifting resources and focus. But it is not something, and this is common across everywhere, this is just Bridgeport, that one police chief or one police department or a mayor or an administration is going to solve. This is all of us that have to step up, and with that, I'm going to hand it over to our acting chief. Chief, please, if you had some thoughts you wanted to share with the public.
Thank you so much, sir. What I do want to share is definitely, first of all, we offer our condolences to the family. We know that this is very hard for them and for the community and even for the police department as a whole. One impacts the other, correct? I will tell you that it definitely is a priority, as the mayor was saying, for us to solve these crimes, these violent crimes, and to be able to bring some closure to the families and to the community. The most recent homicides, the investigation are progressing very, very rapidly, and the solvability factor is at a very good rate at this time. One thing one message that I have to send out to the community is that we can't do this without you. We need the community to be able to bring information to the police department, and so that we can solve these even quicker, but we might even be able to avoid or prevent this type of violence, be it a homicide or someone getting shot, if somebody picks up the phone and says, hey, this person has a gun, or there's a gun here, a gun there, as we are we've been very active on removing guns from the streets. We have many different details that we have engaged with the police department out on the streets and being able to, like I said, focus on getting the guns off the street. But my main priority, obviously, is to bring closure to the families and to be able to prevent. Let's not be reactive. Let's be proactive. And the only way we can do that is by the engagement of the community. And you don't have to walk into the police department. You can use the tips line that we have. It's anonymous. And it helps. It helps in being able to, number one, solve these crimes, and number two, try to prevent them as well.
Mm-hmm. Acting Chief,
listen, when we talk about this too, and there's a lot going on. I think the number is 19 guns have been taken off the street most recently, and the chief can comment on that too. So the stuff that's going on in the preventative ways, and look at any shooting, and certainly any homicide, is just we want zero.
Absolutely.
We want zero. But between that and the reality of what happens in our world today, we need people. I think that's why it was important, and I wanted to thank the chief to come on. We need people to step up. The council and the chief and the police department. We did this 2 weeks ago. We stood together. We almost did it again, saying we all need to step up and take some ownership of this. Some of the council members said, it's not the, whatever the P was, politicians or police that are pulling the triggers. They were using that. It isn't. Mm-hmm. And we're standing there with you, and we will enforce the authority that we have, but we need people to be a part of helping, and we'll try and do the best that we can. Mm-hmm. And as you can hear just even this morning, the chief is fully engaged. I'm fully engaged. Our condolences to the families. Without getting into the details of what happened, they are working hard to close these and to put out other things that we probably can't comment on because you don't want to expose them.
Sure.
What we're doing throughout the city. And I didn't want to take up the whole time this morning, but I thought it was important enough. And I want to thank our acting chief, Rebecca Garcia, for stepping up. I pulled her out of a meeting this morning.
I appreciate it. I was going to just say to the acting chief, being thrown kind of into this, I'm very impressed to hear from you this morning. And the only thing I was going to ask you, unless you have to go, was just sort of, when you hear about these shootings almost at random, they just seem like they're very senseless. I know the mayor and I have talked about it on the show a lot in the past, that it's not like it's a full city citywide issue. It almost seems like it's like a group of people who just want to see almost the city fail. What are you kind of finding?
You're right, Melissa. It number one is any type of gun violence is senseless, right? When someone is losing a family, a loved one, etc. It is a smaller group of people, and that's what we're focusing on. Mm-hmm. We're focusing at through different measures. We have a strategic enforcement detail that has been working proactively on the street. We have our task forces working on different areas as well, our narcotics and vice division. So we do have a lot of different resources that are out there focusing on some of these areas so that people can let their children play outside and people can be okay to walk down the street, which is what we want to bring this city back to. That is our goal, and that's what our focus is. And as the mayor said, since September 1st, we have actually retrieved 23 guns off the street and have made quite a few arrests. And we just want to send the message, not here. Not here. We're not okay with this. So, but I need the community to engage with us. I need the community to partner with us so that together we can make this work.